do it for the man of the year.
Feminism is wanting all the good parts of the world and none of the bad. I want to be treated equally, but give me the seat because I'm a girl. Besides, this is what you women wanted. We shouldn't give up our seats, hold doors open for you, or even offer to carry your luggage or heavy items anymore. This has been your campaign for decades, fighting against toxic masculinity and how it was so patronizing for men to be chivalrous. So stop waffling and stand on your healthy feet. You're neither pregnant nor disabled. You're not entitled to it. Why should European men offer to help you? Aren't you strong and independent? Or are you so far from the woods that you can't call a bear to help with your heavy luggage? Random men don't owe you labor. They're not expecting you to cook them a meal either. Also, no man wants to end up in a "so this creep approached me the other day" video. No thank you.
Be careful when you are traveling because the men do not help you. I've been away for about 3 weeks now and we have seen some things, okay? Like last night, for example, there was a girl that fell off the ledge of something onto rocks, and men needed to assist in helping her get back up because she was not cooperating and no one did. Tell me why it took five minutes. Women were rushing over from people screaming and asking for help, and no man stopped to help. And then when one finally did stop and help, there were 2 down there. One of them said, "Fuck this," walked away. The other one hoisted her up, put her down and said, "I'm not dealing with you anymore," and then walked off. And then when I said, "You're a bit of a dickhead because you are for speaking to her like that," he then came back and tried to hit me in the face and was like, "Who are you calling a dickhead? Who are you calling a dickhead?" Just be mindful if you're traveling to Europe, Asia, wherever it is that you're going, always make sure that you have a friend with you. And if you are intoxicated or, I mean, honestly, just, I know that sometimes you can't help it, but just try to not get to that level, because I've seen women get to that level on this holiday and the men don't help. Maybe it was just luck of the draw, but these men, none of them helped. And when they did, they complained and then tried to square up with me.
She wasn't cooperating, so he walked away from the situation, and suddenly he's the bad guy. He shouldn't have hit you, but other than that, I don't see what the problem is. Men are not obligated to help.
Is there any guys out there who still like to help girls out and like just be manly and, you know, trying to like take care of you? Because honestly, I literally was moving my boxes from my car to my apartment that I live on, the 4th floor, that I actually, no elevator. And these guys are seeing me, 3 whole grown men seeing me do this back and forth. And at any point in time, didn't bother, didn't say, "Hey, do you need some help?" or something, nothing. I don't have an issue doing it. Like, I don't. I've always done things on my own anyways. But it's because of this. Because I know that I can't rely on these men.
Those 3 men are feminists, and they believe in equality and female empowerment. You can do it, girl power. It's just not worth helping modern women these days. You can go from hero to zero in seconds. Yes, it's that crazy.
Quick question here. Are there no real men at Home Depot at 1 o'clock on a Tuesday afternoon? Normally I take one of my kids with me to help load, but today was a bit of an emergency and they're all in school. I bought several sheets of 4x8 and about a dozen studs and headed to my car and loaded them all by myself. Clearly I'm capable, no problem. But while I was loading, 5 men passed by me, watching me, and not one of them offered to help. Even the Home Depot employees were standing around watching. I have 5 sons and a husband, and never would they pass by a woman of any age and not offer to help her. I know, I've been told I'm a little intimidating and scary to approach. So no need to write that in the comments. I guess I'm just a little disappointed.
In today's world, there are way too many Karens out there. Being screamed at for offering to help sounds like a bad deal.
Do you know what I actually can't believe? Yesterday I was on the tube coming home and a drunk man got on the tube and he sat next to me originally and was chatting to some other people that had a dog. Oh my god, the bags under my eyes. And then they got off the tube and he was like looking at me and I was just ignoring him. I was just doing my own little thing. Then he moved and sat opposite me on the tube and then he was going, hello, hello. And I just looked at him and was like on my phone, but I like looked at him and he was like, you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. And he was like, where are you from? You from Italy? And I was like, no. He was like, you from here? And I was like, no, because it was like London. I was like, no, somewhere else. He was like, oh, you're on holiday? I was like, no, just travelling. I was trying to be like just short and like get him to stop speaking to me. And then he was going like, oh, well, he had a beer in his hand and he kept spilling his beer everywhere. And I was just trying to ignore him. And he was like, are you married? And I was like, yeah, I'm married. Obviously not, but I was like, yeah, I'm married. He was like, oh, have you got children? I was like, no. He was like, oh, so you're single then? I was like, no, I'm married. And then he was like, how old are you? And I was like, oh, I'm 20. I was like, if I knock a few years off, maybe he'll leave me alone. As if that would make a difference. And he was like, oh, young. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, oh, okay. Then he just kept like mumbling like Italian words because he thought I was Italian. And I was just like, on my phone, like, and he just would not stop. He was like going, high five me, shake my hand, all this. And then he was like, oh, bye, I'm getting off now. Then he stood up and he was just still looking at me, like just standing there. And then he didn't get off. He sat back down and he was like, oh, not getting off yet, actually. And I was like, oh, okay. While this is going on, there's a bunch of men around me that were English because they were speaking English like a minute ago. Before he got on, and they were all just ignoring it. They were all just like leaving him to just literally harass me. And then notice like the last stop of the train is where I was getting off, and that's obviously where he was getting off because it was the last stop. So he was like, oh, okay, I'm getting off now. Obviously I hadn't realised it was the last stop, so I said, oh, bye, and I let him get off and I stayed on the tube for a bit just so that he could walk ahead. And like, again, no one said anything to me apart from one girl took her headphones out and she went, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm just like letting him walk ahead for a bit so like he doesn't speak to me anymore. And she was like, oh, I couldn't tell if he was bothering you or not. Like, I appreciate that the girl actually asked me if I was all right and everything, but like the men didn't do anything. Like, chivalry is dead, but also you couldn't tell he was bothering me. He was quite clearly bothering me. And then as we got off, she was like, I'll walk with you for a bit, but like, I'm not leaving the station. I'm getting on another train, so I can't come outside with you. And I was like, oh, that's fine. Like, and then as we were walking, the guy had stopped and he like turned around and he saw me and he was like, oh, you, Italy. And I was just ignoring him and he was like, oi, are you ignoring me? Why are you ignoring me? And I was just like, I'm just going to keep ignoring him, just walking. He was going, oi. And then I was like, right, keys are in my hand right now. I had to walk to my car, and bear in mind, I had to get off at Ealing Broadway, which is like a scatty station, scatty area. So the route to my car was like literally a 2-minute walk. But because he was behind me, I didn't want him to follow me. So I actually went like a different route and started walking with a group of people so that I wasn't on my own. Because the route to my car, I would have been walking on my own and it was dark. And then he wandered off somewhere else and I like literally like, not sprinted, but like speed walked to my car. But yeah, I was texting my mum as well at the time and I was like, why is nobody like helping me? They can quite clearly see that this man is bothering me. Why has no man stepped in to help? It really bothered me.
I can't believe no woman helped you. Why would a man risk his life to save a stranger? You want us to play Superman for a random woman who doesn't care about us? You're not my family. I'm not a superhero and I'm not Captain Save-A-Ho. You don't need a man to fight your battles anyway. Your gender made that pretty clear. That's all for today. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons. Also click on the notification bell to know when I drop a new video. Bye.